Chapter 37. Jason. Jason had found his sister and lost her in less than an hour. As they climbed the cliffs of the floating island, he kept looking back, but Thalia was gone. Despite what she said about meeting him again, Jason wondered. She'd found a new family with the Hunters, and a new mother in Artemis. She seemed so confident and comfortable with her life. Jason wasn't sure if he'd ever be part of it, and she seemed to be set on finding her friend Percy. Had she ever searched for Jason that way? Not fair, he told himself. She thought you were dead. He could barely tolerate what she'd said about their mom. It was almost like Thalia had handed him a baby. A really loud, ugly baby, and said, "Here, it's yours, carry it." He didn't want to carry it. He didn't want to look at it or claim it. He didn't want to know that he had an unstable mother who'd gotten rid of him to appease a goddess. No wonder Thalia had run away. Then he remembered the Zeus cabin at Camp Half-Blood. That tiny little alcove that Thalia had used as a bunk out of sight from the glowing statue of the sky god. Their dad wasn't much of a bargain either. Jason understood why Thalia had renounced that part of her life too. But he was still resentful. He couldn't be so lucky. He was left holding the bag, literally. The golden backpack of winds was strapped over his shoulder. The closer they got to Aeolus's palace, the heavier the bag got. The winds struggled, rumbling and bumping around. The only one who seemed to be in a good mood was Coach Hedge. He kept up, bouncing on the slippery staircase and trotting back down again. "Come on, cupcakes! Only a few thousand more steps!" As they climbed, Leo and Piper left Jason in silence. Maybe they could sense his bad mood. Piper kept glancing back, worried, as if he were the one who'd almost died of hypothermia rather than she. Or maybe she was thinking about Thalia's idea. They told her what Thalia had said on the bridge, how they could save both her dad and Hera. But Jason didn't really understand how they were going to do that, and he wasn't sure if the possibility had made Piper more hopeful or just more anxious. Leo kept swatting his own legs, checking for signs that his pants were on fire. He wasn't steaming anymore, but the incident on the ice bridge had really freaked Jason out. Leo hadn't seemed to realize that he had smoke coming out of his ears and flames dancing through his hair. If Leo started spontaneously combusting every time he got excited, they were going to have a tough time taking him anywhere. Jason imagined trying to get food at the restaurant. "I'll have a cheeseburger and, my friend's on fire, get me a bucket." Mostly, though, Jason worried about what Leo had said. Jason didn't want to be a bridge, or an exchange, or anything else. He just wanted to know where he'd come from. And Thalia had looked so unnerved when Leo mentioned the burned-out house in his dreams, the place where the wolf Lupa had told him was his starting point. How did Thalia know that place? And why did she assume that Jason could find it? The answer seemed close, but the nearer Jason got to it, the less it cooperated, like the winds on his back. Finally, they arrived at the top of the island. Bronze walls marched all the way around the fortress grounds, though Jason couldn't imagine who would possibly attack this place. 20-foot-high gates opened for them, and a road of polished purple stone led up to the main citadel. A white-columned rotunda, Greek-style, like the one in the monuments in Washington, D.C., except for the cluster of satellite dishes and radio towers on the roof. "This is bizarre," Piper said. "Guess you can't get cable on a floating island," Leo said. "Dang, check out this guy's front yard." The rotunda sat in the center of a quarter-mile circle. The grounds were amazing in a scary way. They were divided into 4 sections like big pizza slices, each one representing a season. The section on the right was an icy waste, with bare trees and a frozen lake. Snowmen rolled across the landscape as the wind blew, so Jason wasn't sure if they were decorations or alive. To the left was an autumn park with gold and red trees. Mounds of leaves blew into patterns, gods, people, animals that ran after each other before scattering back into leaves. In the distance, Jason could see 2 more areas behind the rotunda. One looked like a green pasture with sheep made out of clouds. The last section was a desert where tumbleweeds scratched strange patterns in the sand like Greek letters, smiley faces, and a huge advertisement that read, "Watch Aeolus nightly." 1 section for each of the 4 winds, Jason guessed. 4 cardinal directions. "I'm loving that pasture," Coach Hedge licked his lips. "You guys mind?" "Go ahead," Jason said. He was actually relieved to send the satyr off. It'd be hard enough getting on Aeolus's good side without Coach Head waving his club and screaming, "Die!" While the satyr ran off to attack Springtime, Jason, Leo, and Piper walked down the road to the steps of the palace. They passed through the front doors into a white marble foyer decorated with purple banners that read Olympian Weather Channel, and some that just read, Ow!